A tale from the old village. They say every village holds a secret, one wrapped in shadows, one spoken only in hushed whispers around the fire after nightfall.
Aye, bitch.
This is Whispering Echoes and Tales, where ancient voices speak, and every tale finds its echo. In my village. It wasn't the towering trees that watched from the hills. It wasn't the forgotten shrines hidden deep within the bush.
No.
Our secret was something far stranger, something that rides the wind like a song of sorrow. A train. A train that never stops. I first heard of it when I was young, too young to fully understand the weight of such stories. I remember sitting at my grandfather's feet, watching the smoke curl from his pipe, as his voice, heavy with years, wove the tale. They say it rides the tracks only after midnight. Long after the last rooster has crowed, its lights cut through the fog like a hunter's spear. No conductor, no tickets, no stops, no return. Softy elders called it Oko, i.e., the train of spirits. They said it carried lost souls. Spirits caught between this world and the next. Of course, I didn't believe it. Until that night. It was late, long past midnight. I had fought with my parents again. Words thrown like stones. Wounds left open and raw. I stormed out of the house, seething anger in my chest. Feet that draw me deeper into the night's embrace. The village was quiet, too quiet. And then I heard it. A low rumble in the beginning. Sounds like drums in the distance. Then the ground did start shaking. The atmosphere became dense, heavy, charged. Then I saw it. A train. Not just any train. It emerged from the mist like a ghost torn from legend. Its surface shimmering silver beneath the cold, watchful eye of the moon. It made no sound, no hiss or screech. It simply glided, smooth as a thought, unreal as a dream. Strange glowing markings etched along its sides pulsed gently with light. Symbols I had never seen before, as though the train carried stories written in a forgotten tongue. It was old, impossibly old, and yet it felt alive, breathing, watching, calling me, drawing me forward like a whisper in my soul, like a name I hadn't heard in years, but somehow still remembered. Against every instinct that screamed run, I ran toward it. My heart thundered in my chest like a war drum. My lungs burned with every ragged breath. My legs felt carved from stone, but I didn't stop. I couldn't stop. The pull was too strong. Near the ancient baobab tree, where the ground split like a scar and legends say spirits gather on moonlit nights, the train began to slow. Not stop, just slow, ever so slightly, as if it wanted me to catch it, as if it had waited for me. I surged forward, desperation and wonder colliding inside me. My fingers found the cold, metallic handle, and without hesitation, I leapt aboard. Inside, it was like stepping through a doorway between worlds. Not just a train car, but an ancient temple, a moving cathedral carved from dreams and memories long forgotten. The air was warm, almost embracing, filled with the faint scent of incense and earth after rain. Lanterns hung from the ceiling, swaying gently with the motion, each casting a soft golden glow that shimmered like sunlight caught in water. The walls were unlike anything I'd ever seen, carved not with paint or ink, but with life itself. Animals of every kind, leopards, jackals, birds, serpents, wove between gods with 1,000 eyes, and spirits that flickered in and out of view. They danced, they moved, not like paintings, but like shadows given form, shifting along the surface as if alive, whispering stories I couldn't quite hear. The passengers sat in silence, still as statues. Each wore flowing robes of silk and beads that glimmered like stars. The garments shimmered with color, deep indigo, blood red, gold like sunrise, but their faces were blurred, hazy, like smoke caught in the wind, undefined, flickering, not hidden, just unreachable, as though they belonged to a different reality entirely. They didn't look at me. They didn't speak. Maybe they couldn't see me, or worse, maybe they saw me and simply chose not to. I moved forward, slowly, each step echoing louder than it should have, like I was walking through a dream on the verge of breaking. My heart pounded so loudly in my ears it felt like a warning. Still, I kept going. Down the endless aisle, past the silent watchers, past shifting walls and flickering light. I looked out the windows, hoping for the familiar. But my village was gone, erased. In its place, landscapes pulled from myth and wonder, forests where the trees pulsed with inner light, glowing like fireflies in the dark, rivers that flowed with molten gold, glimmering with the light of stars, mountains that hovered above the earth like they had cast off gravity, with whole villages suspended in the sky, swaying gently in the breeze. And then, at the far end of the train, I saw her. A girl. She sat alone, near the very last window, cloaked in shadow and starlight. The train's golden glow bathed her in warmth, but she didn't turn. She was staring out, not at the floating villages or glowing forests, but into something farther, something deeper. Her skin shimmered, like moonlight caught on still water, soft, ethereal, as though she was carved from the very light of the moon itself. Her hair was braided with care, long plaits, threaded with delicate cowrie shells that clicked softly with every gentle sway of the train. The sound was so quiet, it was almost a lullaby. Above her brow, just beneath the soft silver of her hairline, a small crescent-shaped scar, not ugly, not violent, but ancient, like it had always been there, before time, before her. And her face was clear, perfectly clear. No blur, no haze, no smoke. She was the only one I could truly see. Her eyes, dark and endless, met mine without fear. She turned and smiled, a smile that held both kindness and unbearable sorrow, like she knew everything I didn't and carried it like a weight she'd never set down.
You shouldn't be here,
She said gently. Her voice echoed through the car, not loudly, but deeply, like it reached inside me and touched something I hadn't known was waiting to be touched. I opened my mouth to speak, to ask who she was, why I was here, what this place was. But no words came. None. My voice was gone, stolen by the silence, swallowed by the train. She rose slowly, her movements fluid, graceful, like drifting mist. Her eyes still held mine, filled with something older than grief, deeper than time, ancient sorrow. She reached out her hand. I hesitated, but then her fingers brushed mine, and her touch, it was cold, not sharp, not cruel, but cold, like river stones beneath moonlight, like memory, like a goodbye whispered before you know what it means. Yet somehow, it was comforting.
This train doesn't stop.
She whispered.
It only takes.
She turned, slowly, and I followed, drawn by something I didn't understand, couldn't explain. Down the aisle, past the silent passengers, past the shifting carvings on the walls that now seemed to watch me, to the very back of the train, where a single door pulsed, softly, steadily, like a heartbeat. Its surface glowed faintly, the color of dying embers and rising dawn. Alive, waiting. "Sis is your stop," she said, her voice barely a breath. I looked at her. I wanted to protest, to ask why, to beg to stay. But before I could resist, she placed her hand on my chest, and with one gentle push, she sent me through. I fell. No. I plummeted, tumbling head first through endless skies that shifted color with every heartbeat. Deep purples melting into silver, clouds glowing like ghosts beneath a rising moon. The air was thick with memory, with echoes. I fell through shimmering clouds, through time, through silence so profound it roared in my ears. Until I landed hard. The breath knocked out of me. The world tilted, then stilled. And when I opened my eyes, I knew where I was. I was back in my village, lying in the dust beside the old railway station, where weeds grew through cracked stone and rust clung to forgotten tracks. But the train, gone. No sound, no wind, no light, no proof it had ever been there. Just me, alone. I sat up slowly, my body aching like I had fallen from a story no one else remembered. And then, I noticed my palm, the place where she had touched me, where her cold, sorrowful fingers had pressed into my skin. A faint mark glowed there, a scar I didn't have before. Small, subtle, but clear. The shape of a tiny train. Wheels, windows, smoke rising from a silent engine that never truly left. Since that night, I sometimes hear it. When the world is asleep and the stars lean in to listen, that distant whistle cuts through the midnight air. Not loud, but sharp. Like memory, like warning, like invitation. And sometimes, only sometimes, when the moon hangs heavy and full above the baobab tree, when the village sleeps, wrapped in dreams it cannot name, I rise from my bed, step to my window, and I see her, there, in the last carriage, still bathed in that golden sacred glow, her eyes on mine, across distance and time, silent, still, waiting. She never waves, she never speaks, but I feel it. She's waiting, still waiting. For me, or for someone else. For anyone who dares step aboard.